this class. That's better. Fine, friends. So the new chapter I'm going to discuss employee stock option plan, friends. ESOP, employee stock option plan. Let me change the page color. Yes. So the chapter name is employee stock option plan. Employee stock option plan. So as you know, the group 2 chapters are very few. Internal reconstruction I completed. Amalgamation of companies I completed. Partnership accounts we discussed in the elaborative manner. Then the last chapter, consolidated financial statements, I discussed. So apart from all these things, I completed accounting standards. I completed accounting standards. These are completed chapters. These are completed chapters from my end. So at it to be discussed, are the pending chapters in group 2, employee stock option plan, buyback of equity shares, then banking companies, then NBFC, then liquidation of companies. So literally 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 chapters are pending. So out of such 5 chapters, I am taking the chapter employee stock option plan now, followed by buyback of equity shares, then banking, NBFC, finally closed with liquidation of companies. So that is the order I'm going to follow for all the further chapters. Now coming to the chapter employee stock option plan. Sir, can you please provide introduction for this chapter? We may listen previously, but some issues are there, but there is some misconceptions are exist about this chapter. Sir, please spend all of you with me for 15 to 20 minutes. You can easily understand the practical way of approach of ESOP, employee stock option plan. So first, before going with the meaning, first let me discuss with the intro. I told you, first I will start with intro, then I gave the meaning. Tell me, friends, for any entity, if you offer any salary, employee dissatisfaction will continue. Sir, you are providing the world-class facilities to the employees. You are offering salaries like anything while compared with industry norms. The working hours are very limited. Employee refreshment expenditure, you expended like anything, but still employee dissatisfaction will be there in that entity. Why, sir? Why? Because those are the employees, those are the not the owners of the entity. How employee will think, sir, if I will do the work in an efficient manner, or I will completely give my competence to the entity with a lot of conducting hard work and all other aspects, I will get the same salary. On the duty hours, if I just make it as a possible in a normal way, if I continue as an employee, I will get the same amount of the salary. So what is the difference for two different type of employees? There is a no difference. There is a no difference. But maybe the employee who made the complete hard work, he may get some bonus at the year end for in some entities. But the employees who are casually coming to the organization, just they will do their work on their working hours, then they may not get that much of bonus. That is the only difference, except that there is a no difference in the employee satisfaction level. So as per the Companies Act 2013, as per Companies Act 2013, to overcome such a type of issues by the employers, employers will have one weapon. That weapon itself is ESOP. That weapon itself is ESOP. Sir, are you talking about ESOP is a weapon? Yes, employee stock option plan is a weapon. It is a weapon used by every entity to reduce labor turnover or employee turnover, to reduce employee turnover, Sir, we can't understand, sir. If you are implement employee stock option plan in your entity, then automatically employee turnover will reduce.
Sir?
How it is
Sir?
possible? Yes, ma.
Sir,
Yes, ma. Yes, ma.
Kirtana waiting, sir. Kirtana waiting, sir.
Admitted, ma. Okay. So not seen by me. Sorry. I
Yes,
admitted.
sir.
Fine. Thank you, ma. Thanks for reminding. Can I continue, ma? Can I continue, right?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Fine. So to reduce such employee turnover, employees will use employee stock option plan as a weapon. How it is possible, sir? Concentrate. Sir, in case of employee stock option plan, what will happen? Employer will going to issue certain number of equity shares, in future, not right now. Employer will issue certain number of equity shares in future, not right now, in future. To whom? Certain employees. Employer will going to issue certain number of equity shares in future to certain employees, provided if they comply certain conditions. That means employer will levy certain conditions to the employees. Sir, you should stay with the organization for a minimum period of 3 years. Then we are offering certain number of equity shares in future. Okay, fine. That's good. Sir, at which price, sir? Which was a predetermined price which was a predetermined price, which may be issued at a predetermined price, and which is always less than market price, which was always less than market price. It is less than market price. Then can you please tell me, if I offer certain number of equity shares to the employee by leaving certain conditions, that is, they should stay with the organization for a minimum period of 3 years, and I am offering such a number of equity shares at a less than market price, then definitely those employees want to continue with my entity at least for 3 years. Now, can you please tell me, employer is using such a ESOP as a weapon to reduce the employee turnover? That statement was given by me earlier. That's why ESOP can be used as a weapon by each and every employer to reduce their employee turnover. So now I told you the basic objective practically when an entity wants to use employee stock option plan. So I didn't tell anything about what is meant by employee stock option plan. When entity want to use employee stock option plan into their organization. Okay, that is the one reason to reduce the employee turnover. Number two, to create ownership rights, among employees. Sir, if an employer able to create ownership rights among the employees, then employees will feel that we are the owners. Can you please tell me, owner's mindset will never look like employee mindset. If time will be the 5 o'clock, still they are ready to work. They want to give their ultimate efficiency into the entity. Why? Because those are not the employees, those are the owners. Though they are going to become shareholders of that entity. So that's why the real efficiency of employees will come out. So that's why to create the ownership rights, also an entity may issue employee stock option plan. So this is a layman approach of intro to employee stock option plan. Till now, I didn't discuss anything about the chapter, friends. Just I discussed the background when an entity want to use employee stock option plan in that specific employees, among the specific employees. Just I told that point. Can you please tell me, all of you, the basic background when company practically wants to use ESOP? Did you understand? Is
Yes,
it
sir.
clear?
Yes, sir.
All of you, please participate in the chat box. It is in your hand only. Yes, Puspa say yes, sir. Srilata say yes, sir. Priyanka, yes, sir. Okay, fine. Jashwant say yes. CC, Srivani. Okay, fine. So, hope everybody understood. So, let me go with the technical part of the ESOP. The real technical part of the ESOP begins right now. If you understand the basic part, that is the layman approach, then nothing is big in case of the technical part. Okay. Now let me start with meaning part, friends. Let me start with meaning. Employee stock option plan is an agreement. Entered in between employer and certain employees. ESOP is an agreement entered between employer and certain employees. Okay. Which gives right to subscribe, right to subscribe certain number of equity shares at a predetermined rate in future in compliance with certain conditions, in compliance with certain conditions. So if you see the definition part, if you see, ESOP is an agreement. Okay, it is an agreement in between employer and employee, in between employer and employees. For not all employees, certain employees. ESOP is not offered to each and every employee, friends. Sir, it was offered. It was offered to only very certain employees. Certain means key employees in generally. Sir, we are telling pillars of the organization. To them only such a ESOP was announced and entered. Such an agreement will be entered with such employees, which gives right to subscribe certain number of equity shares at a predetermined rate or at a predetermined price in future, not right now, in future, in compliance with certain conditions. Simply speaking, ESOP is an agreement entered between employer and employee, which gives you a right to subscribe certain number of equity shares at a predetermined rate, in future, in compliance with certain conditions. In generally, this predetermined rate should be less than market rate or market price, less than market rate. That's it. Hope you understand what is meant by employee stock option plan. Now, just I want to provide some insights related to accounting treatment, friends. Just I want to provide some insights related to accounting treatment. That is accounting treatment. No, I don't want to discuss about the accounting treatment. The legal formalities related to accounting treatment, just I want to give. Okay. Sir, accounting treatment is two types, friends. Actually, accounting treatment is two types. That is based upon Indian accounting system and international accounting system. International accounting system and Indian accounting system. As per the Indian accounting system, again, two things are possible. For companies for which existing accounting standards applicable, for companies for which Indian accounting standards applicable, As you know, there is a specific roadmap exists in India. The roadmap was given from 2016 in the phased manner. They told for which type of companies NDAS are applicable. So earlier, at the time of initial stage, the companies whose turnover come across 500 crores NDAS are mandatory. After that, the companies whose turnover exceeds 250 crores, then NDAS was mandatory. After that, for a banking company, for a non-banking financial corporation, for an insurance company, NDAs are applicable. Like that, in the phased manner, they are going to make sure the applicability of the NDAs in India. So for the companies, other than for the companies which NDAs are not applicable, then existing accounting standards are applicable. As you know, in our CA inter syllabus, we learned only existing accounting standards only. We don't know anything about NDAs. So if an entity follow existing accounting standards, then guidance note issued by ICAI, will decide the accounting treatment. For a company, Ind AS are applicable, then Indian accounting standard, that is Ind AS 102 will be applicable. The title is accounting for share-based payments. Accounting for share-based payments is the title. Ind AS will be applicable. Sir, international companies, that means not an Indian company, internationally, IFRS will be applicable. International Financial Reporting Standard, IFRS. Sir, IFRS 2 will be applicable. IFRS 2 is nothing but Ind AS 102 in the India. So in India, the standard number are in line with the international standard. Internationally, two type of standards are exist actually. One is technically IFRS, another one is IAS. IFRS are International Financial Reporting Standards. IAS are International Accounting Standards. Both are popularly known as global standards. Global standards. If internationally it is IAS 1, in India it was Ind AS 1. Internationally it was IAS 5. For Ind AS also it was Ind AS 5. But related to IFRS, internationally if it is IFRS 1, for India it was Ind AS 101. That means there is a no number changing for IAS and Ind AS. But in case of it was IFRS, we are adding 100 plus that number in Ind AS. Hope you understand. For IFRS, if it is 1, in Ind AS it is 101. For IAS it is 1. For Ind AS it is Ind AS 1 only. Like that, our Indian accounting standards built in India. So I told you the accounting treatment in legal point of view. I told you the accounting treatment legal point of view, friends. Legal perspective. Hope you understand things related to accounting treatment. Sir, why you discuss in such an elaborative manner, sir? I tell you, in CA final, if you go to the CA final, one more chapter is there, which was, yes, BP, the chapter name itself is share-based payments. The chapter name is share-based payments, where you are going to provide accounting treatment based on Ind AS 102. You should understand the difference in between CA inter-employee stock option plan and CA final stock option plan. So share-based payments are so many types. One among such a share-based payment type is employee stock option plan. There are some other thing, employee stock purchase plan is there, not occurred in CA inter-syllabus. SAR, stock appreciation right, is there, not applicable in CA inter-level. Only employee stock option plan is only applicable in CA inter-level. Remaining all other aspects you are going to learn in CA final level. Hope you understand the legal perspective. Okay, is it clear, friends? Can I go to the next issue? At least one person, can you please confirm me? Is it clear? Yes, sir. Priyanka told yes, sir. Fine. So let me go with the technical aspect right now. Technical issues. That is, I'm introducing so many technical terms right now. Just give me a second. I'm introducing so many technical terms right now with a simple diagrammatic representation, friends. With a simple diagrammatic representation, I'm going to explain so many technical terms. Technical terms used in this chapter. Through a diagrammatic representation, I'm going to explain all such technical issues. Please concentrate, friends. Please concentrate. Sir, 1/4/2013, on 1/4/2013, what will happen, sir? There is an agreement happened in between employees and employer. So do you know what is that agreement? Employer is ready to offer certain number of equity shares at a predetermined price, which is less than the market price, to certain number of employees. That is the agreement. That is the agreement. The date on which, which is popularly known as plan. Such agreement is popularly known as plan. The date on which plan is approved, announced, and accepted. Sir, what is the plan, sir? How many number of equity shares you are going to issue to each and every employee? How much time period it should take? That means after 2 years you are going to issue. At how much price you are going to issue? At a predetermined price, which is nothing but plan. Such a plan is discussed by the board of directors. Then such a plan is approved by the board of directors. Once approved, they will announce to the employees. Sir, how they are making to announce, sir? They will put such announcement that's under the notice boards or under the common emails, or anything may happen according to the internal policy adopted by that management, which is nothing but announcement. Then it should be accepted by the employees. Can you please tell me, friends, in case of contracts, sir, without providing the offer and without providing the acceptance, is it contract will exist? No. That's why when you are providing the offer, when you are giving an announcement, the other party should accept that. Then only an agreement will take place. Then that particular date is popularly known as dog. Sir, what is this dog, sir? Is it dog means animal? No, it's not an animal. It was date of grant. So the date on which plan is approved, announced, and accepted is technically known as date of grant. So company is granting the option. That is nothing but date of grant. Then it puts some conditions. Let us assume the conditions are each and every employee should stay with the company for a minimum period of 3 years. Then what are those such conditions are? And such conditions are technically known as vesting conditions. Such conditions are technically known as vesting conditions. So for how many years he should stay with the organization? For a minimum period of 3 years. Can you please tell me from 1/4/2013 if the minimum period will be 3 years? So what is the last date? Once such 3 years completed? What will be the last date? 1/4/2013 to 3 years. Yes, 1/4/2016. Am I right? Or I can put 31st March 2016. Nothing wrong. 31st March 2016, which will become 3 years. Sir, such 3 years is technically known as VP. VP means vesting period. Sir, what is the meaning of vesting, sir? Vesting means it is the formal word used. In compliance with the plan. Sir, condition. Sir, where it was said in the plan, then that condition is the vesting condition. Period, where it was said in the plan, then that period is said to be the vesting period. Nothing else. It is the general term used. Vesting means a certain rules and regulation to be followed. So vesting condition, as you know, vesting period, as you know. So what is the vesting condition here? They put stayed minimum period. That is with vesting period. Stayed minimum period, which is 3 years with employer. That is the vesting conditions. Now, sir, after 31st March 2016 completed, then the employees really stayed with the organization. If they complete the conditions and the vesting period elapsed, then employees will have right. What is that right, sir? They can subscribe certain number of equity shares at a predetermined price. Then they can start exercise. Then they can start exercise their options. Sir, once 31st March 2016 over, then if really employee will offer one day, can you please all of you subscribe? Is it good? If they give really one day, so all the employees who satisfied the vesting conditions, you can subscribe as on that specific date. It's not correct. We should give sufficient time to the employees to subscribe such a number of equity shares after vesting period. So in generally, let us assume employer gave 3 months time period. That means after 31st March 2016, within this 3 months time period, you can subscribe at any point of time, but you cannot subscribe after 3 months. So these 3 months is popularly known as exercise period. Exercise period. Exercise period. But once this 3 months was expired, then your option will be lapsed. Option will be lapsed. That means what is the last date of the exercise surrender, which will be 30th 6/2016 is the last date of the exercise. Here different dates are there. 1/4/2013, 31st March 2016, 30th 6/2016, which is the last date of the exercise. Which is the last date of exercise. 1/4/2013 is DOG, date of grant. 31st March 2016 is the last date of the vesting period. 30th 6/2016 is the last date of the exercise. 3 years are known as vesting period. 3 months is known as exercise period. Once exercise period over, last date of the exercise period elapsed, then such option will be lapsed automatically. Option will be lapsed means employer gave one option, that is right to subscribe certain number of equity shares. Then such employee are right now not eligible to subscribe certain number of equity shares. These are the different technical terms used in this chapter. First, you can understand what is meant by date of grant, what is meant by date of vesting, what is meant by date of exercise. Sir, date of grant, as you know, date of vesting. Date of vesting means from which date employee can start exercise the option, which is nothing but date of vesting. Sir, once the vesting period over, the immediate date will be the date of vesting. Simply. Sir, what is the last date of the exercise surrender? Sir, the date up to which employee can exercise the option is the last date of the exercise. Those are the simple, again, you can think in the layman, you can understand everything. So hope you understand what is meant by date of grant, what is meant by date of vesting, what is meant by last date of the exercise, what is meant by vesting period, what is meant by exercise period. Sir, option lapsed after exercise period automatically. It is the automatically lapsed automatically. One more thing, friends, can you please tell me, all of you, can you please tell me, sir, during this 3 years time period, if any employee left, then can you please tell me their options are lapsed or not at that point of time also? If any employee left the organization during the vesting period, then at that point of time, the options issued to such employee are lapsed or not. If your answer is yes, put Y. If your answer is no, put N. Come on, friends, all of you. If your answer is yes, put Y. If your answer is no, put N. Yes. Everybody telling that, sir, yes. The answer is yes. Then at that point of time also, options lapsed. You are correct. Options lapsed. Now I have one doubt. Sir, options lapsed in any of the two ways. One way is if such employee left the organization during the vesting period. During the vesting period itself, their options lapsed. Or he stayed with the entity for a minimum period of 3 years. and he unable to exercise his options under the exercise period, then also their options are lapsed. Then what is the difference between first type of options lapsed and the second type of options lapsed? The options lapsed during the vesting period are technically known as unvested options lapsed. Unvested options lapsed. Unvested options lapsed. These are the again technical terms used in the problems, friends. Options will be lapsed after exercise period are technically known as vested options lapsed. Vested options lapsed. Vested options lapsed. Sir, unvested options means still they are not come across the vesting period itself. They are lapsed during the vesting period itself. They are unable to satisfy the vesting conditions. That's why I used the word unvested options. Sir, they satisfied the vesting conditions, but still they lapsed. That's why I used the word vested options lapsed. So hope you understand the difference between unvested options lapsed and vested options lapsed. Sir, can you please finally tell me regarding the entire diagram with a simple explanation, sir? Yes, come on, friends. All of you participate with me. This is the last time I'm going to revise regarding the diagrammatic representation. So the date on which plan was approved by the board of directors, announced by the board of directors to the employees, ultimately given acceptance by the employees, then such a date is technically known as date of grant. From the date of grant, how much time period they put certain vesting conditions, then such a time period is known as vesting period. Such conditions are known as vesting conditions. Once the employees will come across the vesting conditions and the vesting period, then they can exercise the options. Then that particular time period is technically known as exercise period. Once the employee come across the exercise period, but he unable to subscribe any certain number of equity shares during the exercise period, then their options will be lapsed. Such options are technically known as vested options lapsed. If any employee during the vesting period, if he left the organization or if he unable to complete certain conditions, then their options also will become lapsed. At that point of time, such lapses are known as unvested options. Now, vesting period is nothing but the difference between date of grant and date of vesting. That is, VP is equal to dog minus dow. VP is equal to vesting period is equal to date of grant minus date of vesting, which is nothing but 3 years. So that is the final conclusion I made through the diagrammatic representation. Friends, hope you understand the technical terms used in employee stock option plan. So don't worry about the accounting treatment. Accounting treatment is very easy, friends. Accounting treatment is very easy, provided if you understand all these technical terms. So let me proceed with the accounting treatment. Concentrate, friends, all of you. Let me proceed with accounting treatment. So what is the accounting treatment as per guidance note? As per guidance note. Why? Because for us, for our syllabus, only guidance note accounting treatment will only applicable. Ind AS and International Financial Reporting Standards accounting treatment will not applicable as per guidance note. Now concentrate, friends, all of you. Here, your support should be needed for me to understand this in the better manner. Can you please all of you participate and tell me? Sir, if you are talking really in perspective of employer, at the time of date of grant, what will happen, sir? And only one thing will happen. Sir, employer is going to offer certain number of equity shares, for every employee at a less than market price. So nothing will happen. Even this sentence was also, even this theme also not happened as on dog. This theme is also not happened as on dog. Just they made a promise. Nothing was accrued to the entity. Sir, is there any expenditure accrued, sir, to the entity? No. Sir, is there any income accrued, sir? No. Just they made a promise through an agreement. That's it. That's it. At the end, for example, it was happened as on 1/4/2013, right? So let us assume for 100 employees, for each and every employee, I'm offering 10 equity shares. I'm offering 10 equity shares. At which price, sir? I'm going to offer at that will be 30 rupees. I'm going to offer at the rate of 30 rupees. So this is 100 employees are exist, and I'm offering to each and every employee 10 equity shares, and the offer price was 30 rupees. Now at the end of 31st March 2014, at the end of 31st March 2014, is there any necessity to record any expenditure or income by the entity is my first question. As on 31st March 2014, that is after completion of 1 year, and as you know, the vesting period is stayed with the 3 years, and the vesting period will be the 3 years. You know everything. That is the same example I am continuing what I made in the above diagrammatic representation. Okay, so then at the end of 31st March 2014, is there any necessity to record any expenditure or income in the books of the employer? That is my question. I told you now, your support should be needed. Here only your support should be needed. Is there any necessity to record any expenditure or income at the end of 31st March 2014? Please think, all of you. So then only the real accounting treatment will come. I can tell you the real, the simple sentence. It is very simple. But if you understand in your way, then only the real accounting treatment will come to your mind. Create a provision for discount. Sudhir told, sir, you should create a provision for discount. Kirti, yes, sir. No entry, sir. Pushpa, no entry, sir. Yes, sir. Everybody is telling in their own view. Everybody is correct. You should think in your own view. That is the base for the basic accounting treatment. Okay, it's very good, friends. It's good participation. So concentrate what we have to do. I can tell you, sir. Let us go to the normal P&L account. Let us go to the normal P&L account. Sir, employees are there with your entity only because of you offered ESOP. Let us assume. That means employees are ready to give their efficiency due to ESOP. Due to that, you may generate more sales. If you generate more sales, your gross profit is more. That means some of the gross profit was contributed due to the employee stock option plan. Sir, for example, how much profits are at 10% of the GP was contributed in excess while compared with the earlier only due to ESOP. Let us assume. Why? Because employees are worked like anything. So just they want to continue with the entity. So, and the entity is also offering a certain number of equity shares in the future. By knowing all such things, employees work like anything. That's why the gross profit of the entity increased due to the ESOP 10%. Sir, we learned in the CPD or foundation matching concept, right? Matching concept. Sir, if you want to recognize any expenditure or income, in the profit and loss account, it should be matched with the other component. That means, sir, you are going to record certain gross profit, right? That means you are going to record certain income in our entity in the statement of P&L account. Where is the other component? That is, where is the expenditure? There is expenditure should also be necessarily recorded now. So what is the expenditure, sir? And as an entity, as an employer, sir, what is your expenditure, sir? And one person told, which was discount. I am offering shares at discount. Discount is my expenditure. I am offering shares at discount. Yes, such a discount is my expenditure. Then you have to record such expenditure now. Sir, you are earning something as an income, then you should record that expenditure by following the matching concept. Sir, but you are not incurring such discount right now, na? Sir, but you are not incurring such expenditure right now, na? I accrued right now. I really not paid right now. That means it was an expenditure, it was payable, it was not paid. So what you are trying to tell you, as at the end of 31st March 2014, I should record expenditure as well as liability. Liability means outstanding expense. That's it. So for example, the market price of the share will be, 40, or for simplification, I will put the market price of the share will be 39. The market price of the share will be 39. But I'm offering at the rate of 30 rupees. Can you please tell me discount how much? 30 minus 39 means discount will be 9 rupees. Discount will be 9 rupees. For one share, it will be 9 rupees. For one share, it is 9 rupees. For a total employees on the total shares, 100 into 10 into 9 rupees. May I know how much it is? 100 into 10 into 9 rupees. Please tell me, friends.
9,000.
9,000. Sir, can I recognize entire 9,000 expenditure right now? No. Why? Because such a 9,000 discount should be amortized for 3 years now. Vesting period was 3 years now. Sir, this year I am attaining something profit, and the next year I am attaining something profit, and the next year also I am attaining something profit. That's why this 9,000 should be amortized over the period of the vesting period, which was 3,000 for the first year, 3,000 at the end of the second year, 3,000 for the next coming year. Okay. So these expenditure are technically known as employee compensation expenditure. To whom you are going to pay? Employees, which is the employee compensation and an employee benefit, anything you may use. The expenditure was employee compensation expenditure, which was outstanding only. Sir, such outstanding was happened only due to ESOP plan. Only happened due to ESOP plan. That's why this outstanding is technically known as ESOP outstanding account. Employee compensation expenditure account data. ESOP outstanding account is a journal entry. So what is the meaning of this entry, sir? And expenditure to liability. That's it. Expenditure to liability account. ESOP outstanding means which is a liability till now not at all paid. This is the end of 31st March 2014. So I'm going to pass the same journal entry 31st March 2015. That is employee compensation expenditure account data to ESOP outstanding account. If all the employees are stayed in my organization, if all the employees stayed at the end, also I'm going to pass the same journal entry. Sir, then the last 31st March 2016, also I will pass the same entry, ECE to ESOP outstanding account, ESOP outstanding account, which will be 3,000. Now let us assume the exercise period will be 3 months. 3 months. All the employees are going to exercise on the last date of the exercise, which was, let us assume that period 30th/6/2016 is the last date of the exercise period. Now, how will be the, how we are going to pass the journal entry? Sir, at the time of issue of equity shares by the entity, what is the journal entry, sir? And it received some amount, bank. Sir, how many employees, sir? 100. For each employee, how many shares, sir? 10. Can you please tell me, friends, at which price we offered? At which price we offered share to the employee? 30 rupees. 30. Am I right? Which was 30 rupees. How much total amount? 100 into 10 into 30. 30,000, huh?
30,000.
Correct. 30,000. Next, wait. To equity share capital. So let us assume the face value of the equity share was 10 rupees only. 10 rupees. 100 employees. For each employee 10 shares and the face value 10 rupees. 100 into 10 into 10, how much?
10,000.
10,000. Wait, all of you. Sir, in the outside market, it was 39. In the outside market, it was 39. It was outside market 39 means the face value 10 rupees. You are offering the face, sorry, you are offering at 30 rupees. That is different story. But the outside market, it was 39. The face value was 10 rupees means the securities premium 39 minus 10 means the securities premium will be 29. To securities premium account, that is 100 employees, 10 equity shares, the excess while compared with the face value was 29, which leads to 100 into 10 into 29. How much amount it will be?
29,000.
29,000. Now, sir, the total of the debit aspects is not equal to the credit aspects now, sir. 29 plus 10, it leads to 39. It will be 30,000. I have to set off the liability right now. There is no more liability. Why? Because I issued equity shares. So the liability account should be debited by debiting ESOP outstanding account, which was 9,000. If you want, you can check in the first entry outstanding 3,000, second entry 3,000, third entry 3,000, 3,000 plus 3,000, 6,000 plus 3,000, 9,000. I'm debiting. Right now, ESOP outstanding was not at all appear in my books of accounts. Sir, employee compensation expenditure, what you have to do, sir? At the end of every year, you should transfer to P&L, which is an expenditure, na? P&L to ECE expenditure. Here also P&L to ECE expenditure. Here also P&L to ECE expenditure. There is a normal entry, you know. That's why I not give my focus. The employee stock option outstanding account should be, the liability account should be closed after issue of equity shares. Hope you understand. This is the issue entry. This is the issue entry. Now I have some issues, friends. Can you please all of you participate? What are the issues I'm going to tell you? Sir, this is the case if all employees exercise their option. All employees exercise their option. Now my doubt is, this is case number 1, right? This is case number 1. Case number 2, my doubt is 10 employees not exercised the option. Not exercised the option. Not exercised means, sir, they don't want to subscribe their equity shares. That's it. Sir, why, sir? They are not having money, at least 30 rupees. Let us assume like that. Okay. Or maybe other financial conditions, or maybe other difficulties, whatever the case may be. So 10 employees don't want to exercise the option. Now, how will look like the journal entry, friends? All of you participate. Bank account data. Sir, 10 employees not exercised means only 90 employees will exercise. For each employee, 10, I'm getting 30 rupees. Now, can you please tell me the amount? 90 into 10 into 30, how much it is?
27,000.
27,000. Okay. Let us write. Credit the equity share capital. 2 equity share capital. 90 into 10 into 10. How much it is?
9,000.
Sorry?
9,000.
9,000. 2 securities premium. Outside it was quoted at 39, but the face value was 10. So 29 is the premium. 90 into 10 into 29.
$26,100.
26,100.
100.
Fine. So ESOP outstanding, you should be debited. ESOP outstanding account, you should be debited the difference of amount. How much is the difference?
8,100.
8,100. I can tell you how did you get this 8,100, which was 90 into 10 into 10 rupees. The discount was 9 rupees. Discount was 9 rupees, right? 90 employees, 10 equity shares, discount total 9 rupees. 90 into 10 into 9. If you want, you can multiply it, you can check it, you will get the same amount. Am I right? 8,100.
Yes, sir.
Now my doubt is, sir, ESOP outstanding account balance credit 3 plus 3 plus 3, 9,000 is there, but you debited only 8,100. What about the remaining 900, sir? The remaining 900 balance, which was appearing under ESOP outstanding account, should be closed and transferred to general reserve account. Sir, why you are transferring such amount to the general reserve? One second, my battery is low. Yeah, it was connected. It got connected. So, sir, why you are transferring the balance in the ESOP outstanding account to general reserve? Sir, at the time of creation of ESOP outstanding, the general entry will be employee compensation expenditure to ESOP outstanding. Employee compensation expenditure was closed and transferred to P&L account. Now can you
Well-
please tell me ECE cancel, P&L to ESOP, P&L to ESOP. You have to reverse that entry actually. That is ESOP to P&L. You have to reverse ESOP to P&L. But such 900 is not related to single year P&L. If it is related to single year P&L, just I may pass the reverse entry ESOP outstanding to P&L account. But such a profit, it belongs to more than 1 year. That's why I credited to general reserve. ESOP outstanding account data to general reserve account. The general entry will look like this if certain options are not exercised, which is technically known as vested options lapsed. If vested options lapsed, what is the general entries are ante employee stock option outstanding account data to general reserve account. That's it, friends. Sir, can you please tell me, friends, all of you, accounting treatment as per guidance note, till now what I had discussed, is it understandable manner? Is it clear? Is it clear?
Yes, sir.
Fine, fine, friends, fine. So today our class from 8:30 to 9:30 only, but just to give me 5 minutes time, I will close the session for today. You can take for the next sessions. So granted, but I'm at the end of one single point. Due to this, I am drawing one conclusion. So just I'm telling that conclusion part. I will leave the session, friends. Concentrate, all of you. The final conclusion part. So that means what is the accounting treatment as per guidance notes are ante, just I want to telling you the accounting treatment from this illustration. What is the real accounting treatments are ante? The real accounting treatment is accounting treatment as per guidance note is value of the option should be amortized over vesting period. Value of the option should be amortized over the vesting period. That is the only simple accounting treatment. Sir, what is meant by value of the option? You told the discount now. Such a discount is the value of option. That means value of option is difference between market price and exercise price. So let me give some time to explain the value of option in the elaborative manner. Should be amortized. Amortized means transfer to P&L account. Over the vesting period. As you know, what is meant by the vesting periods are ante, the period for which vesting conditions are applicable. The period for which vesting conditions are applicable is nothing but vesting period. Or you can describe in another manner also, the difference between dog and dove, date of grant and the last date of the vesting period, which is nothing but the dove, which is known as the vesting period. Now, what is meant by the value of options are ante? Value of option we can find in two approaches of two methods. One is fair value method. Another one is intrinsic value method. One is fair value method. Another one is intrinsic value method. One is fair value method. Another one is intrinsic value method. So what is the difference between fair value method and intrinsic value method, sir? Fair value means we are going to calculate the value of the option or discount in the fair manner. Fair manner means, I can tell you, sir, market price, estimated market price as on date of exercise. Sir, nobody can tell the market price as on future date. As on future date, how much amount the market price of the share, then you can compare that market price of the share with the exercise price per share. Then you will get the real discount. But nobody can do that right now. That's why what I can do, estimated market price. Just I will estimate with the best estimate. So estimated market price as on date of exercise. Minus exercise price exercise price. Exercise price means issue price. Exercise price as on date of exercise. As on date of exercise. So as you know, exercise price was predetermined. So as on date of exercise, which was predetermined in the plan itself, which we'll know, but which was estimated, which is the fair value of the option we are getting, which is the fair amount of the discount we are having. In case of intrinsic value method, it is not the estimated market price, friends. Market price as on date of grant. Sir, you are entering into the agreement right now. Just to take it as a base, as on date of grant, how much is the market price? That's why I told you which is not the fair value. Why? Because the market price as on the date of grant will definitely change market price as on date of exercise. But the real discount is market price as on date of exercise is the real discount you got while compared with the exercise price as on date of exercise. But in case of intrinsic value method, you can take market price as on date of grant, which should be compared with exercise price as on date of exercise. As on date of exercise, which is nothing but value of option. Then you may have doubt, sir, in the problems, can I use the fair value method or can I use the intrinsic value method? Depending upon the given information. Depending upon the given information, sir, if market price given as on date of exercise, then you can go with the fair value method. If market price was given as on date of grant, you can go with the intrinsic value method. If both the information is given, then you can follow the intrinsic value method. So the ultimate accounting treatment is only one sentence. To understand and to appreciate this, that much of things discussed by me till now, value of option, which is discount, should be amortized, transferred to P&L account over the vesting period. That is the final conclusion part. This is the conclusion part of the accounting treatment. That's it, friends. So that is the end of periodical aspects related to employee stock option plan. Still, some more thing need to be discussed, but this much of stuff is more than enough to entering into the problematic part. So tomorrow onwards, I'm going to enter the problematic part of the employee stock option plan. So I recorded it. I shared this recording through the respective group. And once again, can you please revise all the contents under the employee stock option plan before coming to the tomorrow session? So before closing the session, can you please tell me, friends, is it clear? Is it clear for all for the today's session? Do you have any doubt? Please let me know. If anybody having any doubt, please let me know, friends, quickly. No doubt, sir. No, sir. Okay, fine. So absolutely hope everybody understand everything. So still, if anything is there, so please let me know through the respective group, friends. Until bye, friends. Have a nice day. Happy Sunday to all. Okay, one more thing. Of the past classroom records or classroom notes not shared by me. So there is some technical error is happening. The classroom records right now, what I am writing, I unable to share with you. I unable to convert into the PDF. The OneNote settings itself was changed. So I tried in the yesterday also. I unable to get it that part. So anyway, today is the Sunday. I will try to get it the PDF till now what I completed related to the consolidated financial statements. And if any other chapters also pending, then I will share the classroom record notes also, friends. And one more thing, I share the scan copy. That is the physical note scan copy. Just before starting the class, you can get it. All the content which was discussed by me, the same content drafted there also. Okay, you can use as a reference for that notes also, friends. Okay, friends. Until bye, ma. Have a nice day.